Well, hello and welcome. We're out in the garden, and it's not that funny, but I was trying to set it up on a tree just so that we can start outside. Welcome to Arts and Wellness Cafe, and outside is where I would get the materials, the plants, the leaves. This is a curry leaf. I use this in cooking, and I recently just used it in a tea. But yeah, so this is where I would get the plants that I would use in herbal tea, and just being out in the garden is a very therapeutic experience for me. And every now and again, I haven't done it for a while, but coming out and putting your feet barefoot on the grass. But for those of you who are new to the Arts and Wellness Cafe, I haven't I haven't done one for a while, but it was to celebrate all the things that creatively I was doing in the garden, but also to give you some hints and tips and to help you or inspire or just encourage you to spend more time um, doing something creative and the impact that doing that creative activity will have on your health and well-being. And at the moment, I'm being bitten up. I've just been bitten on my knee. But it's important to spend time in nature, and so I was just wandering around, just looking, and yeah, just looking at what I have to do. I'm out here every morning, doing some work. So I was going into the studio because I've got some bits that I'm working on, and I wanted to get this Arts and Wellness Cafe in before the end of today because it's the end of February, and I had promised myself that I would do an Arts and Wellness Cafe for February. So, so we start, and the encouragement is spend time out in nature, find a time each and every day that you can, you know, go and recharge those batteries. Go and spend some time in a green space, maybe not at dusk or dawn. And if you do go out, wear something long on your legs. Um, but and just relax. Just look at the flowers. Look at the leaves. Look at things that I've just listened to somebody talking about. I can't remember the term they used, but going out in nature impacts our health in a way that we don't realize because we're going out spending time with things that have no interest in whether we're there or not. So that's the plants. But that stimulates something within us that impacts on our health. So let's go in because they're starting on my legs and I didn't put anything on. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to go into the studio and we'll continue our talk. So welcome back into the studio. Um, I don't know. They really went to town out there. They must have put the call out that she didn't put any mosquito cream on her, and so they were all feasting on my oh my gosh, my shins, my ankles, my knee. Anyway, so I think I might have brought a few into the studio. I need to just light something. Hold on a second. So yeah, I plan to show you live and direct, as if we're live, because as I say, I wanted to get the this out, and I just wanted to connect because I've been promising. I've got some incense here. I'm hoping that it will deter the mosquitoes and the sandflies from following me. So yeah. next month's video will be edited, and I think it's important to just jump in because I think I was, saying over and over again, yeah, I must do it. And I don't think, I think I can't remember the last time I did the Arts and Wellness Cafe. And I miss it because I miss, being able to connect, chatting, and sharing what I'm doing. And there's lots to share. So I will, as I say, I'm not going to edit this one like I would do the rest with all the, what's one of the things that I do? Tip for the week. And it's funny when you listen back to things that you've done over time, how you think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? But do you want to provide you with a tip for the week? And yeah, let's just get started really. So we spent some time out in nature, and that's really important, and try and do that on a daily basis. If you can go to the sea, the beach, go into the water, that's even better. I'm getting myself back there. I've just been really kind of caught up with creative work, but you don't want to put that in place of the nurturing, because I find creativity nurturing, but you don't want it to get to a point where it becomes like a burden. Because I've said to somebody, yes, I eat creativity, I sleep creativity, I work doing something creative. And so when you're going and doing so many things, you can sometimes burn out even in that, because that's the focus and you've got all these deadlines and things like that. So that's why I said, go easy on yourself. If you're going to do it, do the Arts and Wellness Cafe, and just do it as if you were doing a live session. And hopefully you'll get something from it. If not, just enjoy what I'm going to be sharing with you. So tomorrow is March the 1st, and I'll share with you some of the papers, the artwork, some of the things that I've been doing. Cole's just come in from his walk outside. So some of the things that I've been doing, I've had submitted some work for an exhibition. The exhibition finishes on Saturday. And I had 2 pieces of art, a sculpture called Disconnect and a piece called Remembrance. And Remembrance was a painting of 2 women with hearts in their hands, and there's loads going on around them and on them, and the sculpture as well. And I might probably go into those next month. This incense is just coming directly here, so I'm going to put it out. So that's that out of the way. So we're beginning March, and we've got all the art journaling papers that I would normally create on my Patreon. We've got one that's for free, so that's that one. The digital papers, it comes as a set of 4. And if you come on to Patreon and join as a free member, you'll be able to see what's included and download it. And then we have on the $3 tier, we've got these papers. And once again, if you want to see what's on the $3 tier, access these papers, and even access some of the others, depending on how often you come back in 7 days. There's a 7-day free trial on the $3 tier, so you get access to all the videos. Do you know what? I've got over 700 videos on there now. It's crazy to think. It's just amazing, and that's across all tiers. And then if you join us on the $10 tier, I really do like these papers for this tier. It's this one. So you get a whole host of you know, tags and things that you can use in your creative project. And so I've been continuing with these because I think for a long time I wanted to have something that I could use alongside my art in my creative projects. And then it was just like, well, why don't you create them yourself and download them? Like, you know, I would download them from other people, and it was just like, you know, I want to see the things that I like. And so yeah, I started to create them, and then started offering them first on my course platform. So these first started out on my course platform, and then I thought, well, let's move it over to my free Patreon tier. And what that means is, for those people who are on Patreon, they get to see more behind the scenes and more, you know, kind of things that I wouldn't necessarily share on my YouTube channel, or, you know, on my blog or anywhere else. But so those that's those things. And material musings as well, where I talk about the fabric piece. Sorry about that. The fabric piece started to rain. Hold on a second. Okay, we have to be brief. it's there's a big cloud over the house, and I'd left all the windows open as well. So not only had to shut these windows, but then I had to go. And anyway, so I was talking about material musings. And again, so if you're new here, come over and check some of my material musings here on YouTube. I'm working on fabric, and you actually get a sneak peek. I've been working on these two pieces for quite a while now. So this is the first piece, and yeah, so normally you would see it from above, but you again, a sneak peek. And I'm putting in the backing now, so it's going to have a backing, and then it's going to have something where it can be hung as well. But I've really been enjoying working on these pieces, not only for the fabric as well, but the combination of the beading, and just really exploring ideas and things that I might want to try on a larger scale. I would love to get much larger in my fabric pieces. I had wanted to, like with my paintings, I think the largest I've done so far is 30 by 40 inches, and I would like to see some of these pieces. I mean, I did do I think it was like 24 by 40 or 30 as a wall hanging. I've done some wall hangings, but these pieces where they're, you know, really have got a lot of in-depth stitching are things that I would like to focus on even more. And I think you can express yourself in such unique ways using the different fabrics, using beading. That's the other piece. So I managed to complete that, and that's the backing that I chose for it. Now, in a previous Material Musings video, I shared about working on a kawandi. Is it here? Where is it? It's probably in my projects box, but a kawandi is it's another name for a quilt, and it's called the Siddi women, Siddis, and they were enslaved African women who were brought over to India, and so they work on these kawandis, and it's a collection of, you know, like discarded fabrics, saris, and they layer them and they make quilts or kawandis. And so there's a technique that they use to begin with, adding the quilt is actually done from the outside in, and what you do is you take patches of fabric and you stitch them together, But initially, what you do is you sew the outside. So the outside fabrics would be sewed to the top layer and the middle layer of the fabric. So that's how I have pieced my this wall hanging. So it's not a kawandi, but I've used the technique and the stitching. Don't know if you can see, yeah, if we come up really close. So as you're adding the fabric, you're adding, it's just straight stitch all the way around until you get to the middle, and then you finish basically. And yeah, so that piece is more or less finished. It just needs, I was looking at some cord that I have and some lace, some binding that I might put on the outside. It still doesn't, it feels more finished than it did, but it feels like something's missing. And again, it's quite small. Let's see what it measures. So let's see, it's 10 by 13 inches. So yeah, I'm feeling that it needs just something else before I call it finished. And I was also thinking of updating the material musings. Well, not updating it, but changing it in the way that it works. So normally I've been, trying to get every week a new project, and it's just like, that's not feasible. I can't finish these. I tackled them both, and there was no way that I could have done it in a week. And so where we are now is that what I'm going to be doing is I will share a project, and they'll probably be in the following 2 weeks after that, unless I finish it in the third week. So the second and third week will be mini projects showing how you do a particular technique in one of the stitch projects, and I'm not going to go for 2 projects at the same time. So if we look at this one, so a project might take you a month to do, or depending on what it is. Like, I've got quite a few of these really involved stitched pieces. That might be backwards. Yeah, I think it probably will be. But that says journey. So we've got all the stitching. And so something like this might take you a month. You're not necessarily, or you might be, I'm not necessarily working on it every day. I do try and do something every day. But if it does say take me a couple of weeks, then what I might share in the middle weeks is, say, when we look at this fabric, it was wax resist and dyed. So that might be a technique that I'll show you, or it could be a stitched technique, or it could be, working with different fabrics. Like, I've used upholstery fabric, and it's been really nice to work with. Or maybe show you some of the stitches I use. I use a straight stitch, but I use it in so many different ways. And I think I might create myself a sampler of the stitches. And as we can see, the lighting is changing because it's becoming dusk. So I'm going to be wrapping it up very soon. But as I say, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that Arts and Wellness Cafe is coming back, and next month you're going to see it in its full bloom. What else have we been doing? I'm a teacher on fodder school, and that's been great. October marks the start of fodder school 4, and so we did a month-long challenge. And the challenges that I did was on, I'm going to show you the one that, okay, so I'm going to show you one that I did in, I've got a leaf arts course, a leaf art course. So in the challenge, I showed how to paint on dry leaves, stitch on dry leaves and things like that. And my next class, it will be a month. Each teacher has a month. So you're making fodder and then you're using the fodder that you're making. So my lesson will be making different things from fabric. So making some of the things that we might think like leaves, like clusters and things like that, painting on fabric, stitching the fabric, and then bringing it all together and creating a wall hanging. I would say it's not dissimilar from this. It will be a wall. It's a wall hanging, and you can embellish it in any way you want and add a word to it. And then we make the dowel, and there are things like fabric beads that we make as well. It's got the music going in the background. So the challenge, as I say, and out of that, I had always been, working on dried leaves, and I work on the sea grape mainly, doing loads of different designs and things like that. So I have a course, and in the course, I show how to work on these dried leaves. I was wondering whether I could turn it down. It's just on play next door. Anyway, so in the course, this is one of the leaves that you will be shown how to do. So we start out learning the techniques, and then there's 7 modules, and then in module 7, what you learn how to do is you take the stitch that you've done, and then you can choose any of the techniques. So I love, using a wood burning tool, and then I go in and show you how to or how I would add to the leaf. So that's the course, and I'll leave a link to that. So I've really been enjoying that, and I recently also had a cardboard bookcase course, and in that course I showed you how to make small bookshelves. Got one here. So if you're somebody that makes art journals, you can make like mini bookshelves, and I show you how to, it's very simple. This is from a tea box, and then I decorated it, put in the shelving, and it's there. I love them. And I'll show you how to make different sizes, and then there are some bonus lessons where, in the really small bookshelves that I make, I show you how I would make, just seeing, mini journals. So this is like, one that I show you how to make basically. So it's been a joy being in fodder school, and for each month we get to work on the other teachers' projects, and there are main months that we then will share what we've done. So that's been fun, and it's been keeping me on my toes, because it's like the whole month, every month is filled with a creative project, and I've then also got my own projects that I'm doing. But I love it. So I am really enjoying it, and it's something that, it's taken a while to work to get to this point where you can do that, and you don't want to be complacent or like, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I get to do this, and I get to share it, and I get to show up and encourage others. And so I think if I was to give you a tip, it would be a tip for the week to take you into March. It would be to think about the things that you enjoy doing, and think about whether you're doing them or not, and what you need to do to make time for them. I decided to do the 100-day project, which started on the 22nd, Saturday the 22nd of February, and it's for 100 days. And what I've decided to do is share 100 of my leaf designs. So there are some of the designs that I've done already, and as I say, these are from my leaf course, and I get to do more. I get to make more, and I get to use where's my wood burning tool? Here it is. I think I need some more, they have interchangeable heads, so I think I need some new designs. But what I do, and what I encourage you to do, is to really get to know your supplies. Here's another tip. Really get to know your supplies and find out how many different ways you can work with those supplies, because you'd be surprised. Like with the wood burning tool, you've got like, say for instance, you've got one particular head, and what I show you is all the different ways you can use that and work on your leaf, say for instance. So there's this particular tool, and there are a variety of ways in which you can use it and different patterns that you can get. So I show all of that, and then you've then got, you know, it comes with 6 heads, so those 6 heads times 4, if you could do 4 additional things with them, that's 20 different patterns that you can make, or marks that you can make on the leaf or on leather. And I work on leather as well, so that's fun. So those 2 tips, you know, look at your supplies, look at how you use them and how best you can use them. Can you use them in additional ways? And really think about the thing that you enjoy doing and how you can find more time so that you can get the benefits from those things. You can get the nurturing that you need, you can get the rest that you need, and you can get the health benefits that come from being creative. So I'm going to leave it there, and I thank you for joining me. I thank you for as I say, this is going to be, you know, a non-edited video, and I don't normally put them out like that. I like to give you all the different, you know, the banner that comes in, and then the fade in and fade out, and I like to, if you watch some of the others, you'll see. I might have to come up with another tip for the week theme song, and yeah, I hope that you do the things that you can to be creative, and I look forward to welcoming you back in the studio next month with another Arts and Wellness Cafe. And yeah, just have a blessed weekend, and check out some of the other videos that we have available, and yeah, I'll see you again very soon. Take care for now.